Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Teresa. This is Lost My Thread. Today I'm here to celebrate my 2-year YouTube anniversary by talking a little bit about what I've learned since I started my channel. Two years ago, I put up my first YouTube video, feeling like I had no idea what I was doing, definitely having no idea of where this journey was going to take me. And I have to say, I've come a lot further than I expected, and I have been enjoying the process way more than I anticipated. I did make a video like this last year talking about the things that I learned in my first year of making a YouTube channel. I'll put a link to that if you want to check it out. I will say I am biased, but I feel like I had some interesting insights. Certainly if you're someone with a new YouTube channel or someone who's thinking about making a YouTube channel, I would highly recommend going back and checking that one out. Following on from that though, I feel like I really have learned a lot even just in the last year, and there are things that I've been cumulatively picking up on, and I thought it would be fun to go through those with you. I know that most of you are here for the sewing content, so I am going to start off with what I have learned about my sewing within the last year. It may or may not be YouTube related, but it's certainly things that I've learned by making my videos and sharing my makes with you. I'm also then going to talk about what I've learned about myself, sort of deeper, bigger lessons that I've found about myself having been on this journey for a couple of years. And then finally, I'm going to share insights into what I've learned about vlogging in particular, so specifically making sewing vlogs for YouTube. I will be including chapters, so if you're not interested in any one area, don't worry, skip ahead. Watch what you're interested in. I will not take it personally if you're not interested in watching the whole video. But I hope it is interesting to hear what I've learned, and you might be able to find one or two things that might be relevant in your life as well. So starting with the things that I've learned about my sewing in the last year, I feel like I've had a fair amount more projects for whatever reason that involved a little bit of hand sewing. And I have to say, I actually really like hand sewing. I know it's not for everyone, and I'm not necessarily going to be switching over to hand sewing and not using a sewing machine. I've never been particularly put off by hand sewing, but I feel like the more I do it, the more I enjoy it. The quicker I get at it, the neater my hand sewing looks. And that's just been a really interesting view for myself, and it makes me think about projects I would like to make in the future. I would absolutely be interested in doing a little bit more hand embroidery, and I would honestly be interested in trying to make a whole garment by hand, doing a hand sewing project. So that's something I'll be thinking about over the next year or so. In a similar vein, I did a lot of upcycling over the last year, particularly in the month of May. So if you were watching my channel in May, you will have seen every week I took a load of handmade items that weren't working in my wardrobe, and I did a little bit of a refashion upcycle. Some of them I completely cut apart and turned into new garments. And it was interesting to do that. I feel like it's something that I felt intimidated by before. I haven't always felt like it was something that I could do effectively, that I was very good at. It definitely made me use different parts of my brain. There was a lot of problem solving going on, and there were a lot of limitations based on what I had to work with. But just because it's something that I find challenging doesn't mean that it's something that I should avoid, because I actually felt like I did a pretty good job, and I think most of the garments that I wasn't happy with, I was able to do something to make them a lot more wearable. These types of projects as well, when you do them, you realize it's usually quite a small job that needs doing, and it doesn't actually take very long, and it can really make a difference in your interest in wearing that garment. I feel like I'm not necessarily going to be leaping in to be doing a whole lot of upcycling anytime soon, but I feel like it's at least something that I can tap into, and I am interested to do that a little bit more in the future. I most likely will save up some projects for Me Made May next year though, because I have to say it's never going to be as exciting to me as making something up from some nice fresh fabric where all of my options are available to me. But it was a good challenge, and it's something that I enjoyed more than I thought I would. I also went out of my comfort zone a little bit this year and bought myself some pricier fabrics than I have before. I wanted to get some fabrics from some of the bigger name brands that I've heard of, that I'm familiar with. I got some Merchant and Mills linen fabric. I got some fabrics from See You at 6, fabrics from Meat Milk. And I have to say, I really did notice a difference. It's not just that these things are more expensive, these things are definitely higher quality. And I was really surprised when I was able to compare with like fabric, so the same type of substrate from a different brand. It really didn't compare. They were definitely at another level. So for me, that just confirmed something I had suspected. these things are more expensive for a reason, but I was surprised with how it actually enhanced my sewing experience. I really enjoyed working with these fabrics, handling these fabrics. They behaved themselves well. They went through the machine really easily without any real snags or hiccups. And I feel like the final garment is a garment that I'm much more likely to want to reach for and wear for years to come. So it's always a balance with price, but I have to say that I am more inclined to try some of those more higher end, well-known fabric companies because I think I'm more likely to get garments that I'm going to want to wear again and again. And something else that I wanted to try and do this year was to make more separates. So I've been making dresses for a long time. I've definitely been making a lot of jumpsuits these days as well, but I wanted to make more tops and trousers, tops and skirts, things that I could mix and match. And as much fun as it is to make those things and to wear those things, I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10 when I'm going to get dressed in the morning, I am so much more likely to reach for a dress or a jumpsuit, which is just a single thing to put on and I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to mix and match it with anything. So I think for me, I want to just recognize for myself, don't stop making dresses, don't stop making jumpsuits. Even though I've made a ton of them, they're what I'm going to want to wear the most. So it is worth investing my time and my energy in making those pieces that I'm going to enjoy wearing the most. Now, I just have a couple of things I wanted to mention that I have learned about myself over the last year. One of them I mentioned last year, but I feel like I want to expand on it a little bit, and that is that I hate deadlines. Now, this is not news to me. I have known this for a while, that I'm not really interested in making things to a deadline. My creativity in particular, I'm supposed to be doing this for fun. So as soon as I put a deadline on it, the fun just kind of fades away and it becomes more like a job, and I don't enjoy it as much as I would. But I feel like I've also been pushing myself a little bit more to take part in collaborations, to make videos for different challenges, and it's the same thing that I'm having to remind myself. Anytime I have a specific date that I need to put a video out or I need to make a specific garment for, I don't enjoy the process as much as if I was just flying by the seat of my pants. I'm not saying that I don't want to do those kinds of videos and I don't want to sew those kinds of projects, but I do just feel like for my own sanity, my own enjoyment of my sewing, I want to keep that stuff to a minimum. But you don't know until you try, and it's always a difficult balance to try and work out what you enjoy versus what your viewers might enjoy, also bringing into account what I actually have time to do. So I'm still working out the perfect balance for myself, but I am much more aware now that a lot of those things I wouldn't have necessarily perceived as a deadline, they still have that feeling. And so I want to just give myself that little bit more space, that little bit more grace, and hopefully not put myself under too much pressure. And because my channel has grown over the last year, the other thing that I've learned about myself is that I find being spotted in public very awkward. Now, I really do love talking to you guys in the comments and feel like I'm getting to know you guys. I would be over the moon, genuinely, to talk to any of you guys any day out in public, but just being caught off guard by a stranger coming up, wanting to compliment you, wanting to say hi, it's a little embarrassing. It's pretty awkward, and I hope if you are one of the people who have come up to me and said hello, please know that I am genuinely really grateful that you came up to me. It means the world to know that there are real people, and being able to talk to a real human who's watching my videos, it's amazing, it's incredible. But I'm still a little bit awkward about this because it's new for me. I'm not used to people coming up to me. The times that I have, it was at sewing events, so I probably should have been prepared and expecting it, but when you're not used to this, it definitely throws you. But genuinely, if you ever do see me in public and you're someone who knows my channel, please do stop and say hi. I would love to get to know you guys more in real life, as much fun as it is to talk to you on my channel. And something I've learned that I think is probably fairly unique to my channel, but certainly I think makes sense with my style of videos, is that if I'm showing how to do something, it's usually better for me to be talking and narrating it through, and then I can cut to just the visual element of what I'm describing, but still have my same audio narrating throughout, rather than cutting to different clips of me talking at a different point. So for example, if I'm going to cut to a clip of something that I filmed earlier, I'm better off narrating at the same time when I'm making my main video rather than cutting to a different audio clip at another time. That's just because depending on where you're filming or where I'm filming, there's going to be different room size, there's going to be different amount of echo, I'm going to be nearer or further from the camera, and even if I try to make the audio level as far as the volume, the actual quality of the voice is going to be pretty different. So I feel like it seems and feels a lot more slick and coherent if I do more of a narration after the fact rather than trying to talk through as I'm showing something. I've also recognized the value of having a really clean backdrop when you're showing something. So if you're trying to do like a tutorial and show something close up, having it over just a blank background is going to make it so much easier to see your hands or the machine and the fabric and whatever work you're doing. So I've actually bought some pieces of white poster board, white card that I lay down if I'm doing some kind of hand sewing tutorial so that you can see it a lot more clearly. But this could be any color. I think as long as it's going to contrast with whatever you're working with, it's going to be easier to see. But I think having a busy background and a lot going on that you're trying to demonstrate something on top of, it really makes it a lot harder to see what's going on. And I've realized that only through experience. I have also learned through experience for my channel to not put videos out on a Friday. Now, a lot of you might be able to guess why that is. There is a very fun sewing hashtag on the YouTube world called #FridaySews, where lots of people make videos about what they've been sewing over the last week and giving a general update. I feel like Friday is definitely the busiest day for sewing YouTube as a result of that. So whenever I've put a video out on a Friday, I feel like I get a lot less views because people have so much more to watch and they're not necessarily going back and catching up on the videos that I put out on the previous Friday. Now, if you are someone who makes Friday Sews videos, please don't think that I don't enjoy those. I am definitely a big fan of Friday Sews and I love watching those videos, but I'm not making Friday Sews videos, and so I don't need to stick to that day. And I just have noticed if I put a video out on a Thursday or on a Saturday, it definitely gets more views and a lot more engagement and interest than if I put it out on a Friday. So I'm just going to avoid Fridays if I can. And this year was the first year that I took part in Vlogmas. So I made a video blog every day from the 1st of December up until Christmas Day, and I really enjoyed it. There were elements of it that I didn't necessarily expect to enjoy, but there was so much to it. I have to say I learned a ton. My video editing got so much faster, so much slicker. I worked out for myself, if I'm showing a series of short clips, how long it makes sense for those to be, to make it still interesting, to make it feel like a narrative. I really enjoyed setting music to different images that I filmed over Vlogmas as well. I feel like I got a lot out of that creatively that I wasn't necessarily expecting. Now I will say, making a video every day and editing a video every day, it was a lot. And I would really love to take part in Vlogmas again this year, but I don't necessarily want to commit to a video every single day. I wanted to do that as more of a personal challenge, and I did do it and I didn't miss a day, and I'm really proud of that. But I feel like it might make more sense for me in a balance in my life to do it more like a couple of times a week. But I am definitely interested and planning to do more Vlogmas videos when December comes. I've been already brainstorming a little bit about ways that I want to do it and things that I want to include. If you watched my videos last year, my Vlogmas videos, let me know if there was anything that you particularly enjoyed, because I can try to include some of those elements in this year's videos as well. And the last one to mention is one that I always suspected, but it has proven to be true. It is that YouTube is a long game. Now, there are videos that I know if I put them out, they're going to get a whole lot of views when they first come out, but they're not necessarily going to get more views over time. Whenever I make some kind of tutorial video or I'm demonstrating something on a video, those ones don't usually get quite so many views initially when they come out, but I've definitely noticed as the months go by, those are things that people will continue to go back to. And some of the videos that started off with minimal views are now some of the most viewed videos on my channel. I feel like it would be all too easy to just look at the YouTube analytics and see how is this video doing in the first 24 hours, the first 48 hours, the first week. But actually, if it's a topic that people might be searching for and then watching in the future, it's much more important to look at the long-term success of a video rather than trying to look at just this distilled period of when it first came out. Now, I know that 2 years is actually not a very long time to have a YouTube channel in the grand scheme of things, and I know that there's going to be so much more that I'm going to learn over the years. I am very much planning to check in each year to tell you what were the things that I learned over the previous year, because I know that there's going to be a lot that would be helpful for other people to hear, particularly any of you who are interested in making a YouTube channel or already have a channel that you want to grow. Let me know in the comments down below if any of the things I mentioned particularly resonate with you. Give me a like if you enjoyed watching my video today, and please make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you want to see more. I'll be back soon, and I hope to see you then. Bye!